there he found thousands and thousands of angels of the light, worshiping the Lord Most High. Listen to this story because it sounds so strange. And as strange as it is, I am promising you the truth. So every little detail must show you exactly and fit so perfectly that it cannot be falsehood, as the light is always the truth. There on the highest levels, he found angels, thousands upon thousands, worshiping to a house of the Lord Most High. Going around in circles to this great house that we know of is called Baytul Ma'mur. In the highest of the heavens are thousands of angels praising and glorifying that there is only one God, Allah, the Lord Most High. And so, since I told you, don't believe it when they tell you the falsehood of the story of the prophet. Just listen to the story I'm telling you and see if it sounds so incredible and so amazing and so full of light that it can be nothing but the truth. There, at the seventh heaven, the prophet saw, as he approached closer and closer in the light of all these angels, he saw something very shiny, lining casually, leaning up against the noble house of God. Listen to the story I've been telling you and remember the fundamentals. Because they say Islam is a religion that is not connected to the story of the truth, and I'm revealing to you the truth today in the English language. We have said throughout the thing there are certain fundamentals. There is only one God. God created the angels of light. They have no free will. They praise and worship the Lord Most High and do as they are commanded. God created the jinns, and the leader of them of darkness is Satan, Lucifer, the most powerful of the other races, of the interdimensional unseen beings that exist in our world and in our universe. And that God promised to send prophets after Adam, our great father, bearing the truth of the word. And all of this story is told to you, and that Abraham, our great father, promised that on this earth, I challenge, my Lord the Most High is the one who gives life and takes life. And Abraham established the holy house on the earth, the cube, with Isaac and Ishmael. So there, on the highest levels, the prophet goes and sees who is leaning there, relaxing, with his head resting against the great house of the Lord up in the skies. Of course, if the story of truth is true, it must tell everything and include everybody. Muslims are not those who say, we are the chosen people. Islam is the truth of the light. There is Abraham, our great and noble father, the one who established the truth of the light on this earth for our planet, the one who prayed for God to bless him, is sitting there in the most noble of status. But I told you the story must get stranger, because it is at this point that the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, goes in front of the court of the Lord Most High as angel Gabriel, the greatest of the angels, the most noble of God's creation amongst the angels, the one who is granted, as the story is known of all the people of knowledge, the one who is granted the right to tell the word to the sons of Adam who are chosen by the Lord. Gabriel accompanies the messenger of Allah, Muhammad, to see Allah. And Allah gives Prophet Muhammad the gift to the Muslims, which is the prayer. The prayer. The prayer. And it is the prayer that becomes a symbol of action for the faith from this noble journey of the Prophet. Now, because the story is true and we can't tell you all of the details, know that on this journey, the prophet was shown both heaven and hell and the realities of the afterlife. The prophet was shown all the other prophets, and the prophet Muhammad was shown who the false Messiah, the Dajjal, the Antichrist is. He saw him with his own eyes, and he has described him to us. But this is not where we are in this story. But I told you it was going to get strange, didn't I? I told you it was going to get strange. If we have the truth of the light, then it must explain everything. And so without getting into all the details, the prophet returns to the earth and is brought back from the most high of the skies down. Now here is an interesting thing. It's a small part of the story, but it is important. When the prophet is descending through the heavens, he sees Moses again. And when Moses sees him, listen to this story. For the people who bear the truth of the light always tell the story in truth. If the Prophet Muhammad had wanted to disown or discredit any of the bearers of the light in front of him, then he wouldn't be telling the true story. So Moses encounters the Prophet. And we talked about how Moses was. We talked about the nature of Moses. That Moses was given a most beautiful gift. And that was that he spoke to God. And we said an even more beautiful gift is that the Lord Most High spoke to Moses. But Moses and God had a relationship. Go back and listen to the story. So when Moses sees the Prophet Muhammad returning from Allah the Most High, and the Prophet tells him, "My Lord the Most High has assigned to me, the believing people and bearers of the light, to pray to the Lord Most High 50 times. And so what does Moses say? I told you the story is going to be strange, but it's also funny in the way that the nature of man is that we have humor in our story. And humor is sometimes part of the light. And Moses is one of the funniest men of all the men who have come in the way he understood the truth of the story of the light. Moses says to the Prophet Muhammad, he says, "Listen to me. You got to go back." The Prophet says, "What? I'm not going back." No, you got to go back. Go back. Go back to see God? Yeah, I'm telling you, go back. The Prophet says, "No way, I'm not going back." Please excuse my language. I told you, I'm telling you a story in a way that you can understand in your own methodology in the English language. No way, I'm not going back. No, Moses says, your people, trust me. I have delivered the truth of the light to the people before. I delivered it to the sons of Israel, and they gave me a really, really hard time, and they're not going to listen to you. No way are your people going to follow you and pray 50 times a day. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. Go back. So convincing is Moses that the Prophet Muhammad listens to him and ascends back up. And this is a strange story that your Lord, gloried and glorious is the Lord, Allah. We said the fundamental is what? La ilaha illallah. There's only one God. God is the one who created us. And because God, the only way to understand him is not in any graven image or symbol or a triangle or a pyramid or sign. God is the light. And remember that the light, no matter what they tell you about Islam or Muslims in our day, and like we said, we're trying to stay away from the politics of modern days and just talk about the story. God is always merciful. We are his creation. He gave us part of the life. We are the living ones that God said, I am the one who gives life. God is the one who gave us this life. So when the Prophet returns to go talk to Allah, the Lord Most High, Allah is merciful. And so he reduces the amount to 45. And when Musa sees the Prophet again while he descends, he says, what happened? Tell me what's going on. The Prophet says, Allah has ordered my people to pray 45 times. Moses says, go back. What? Go back? Trust me, Moses says, you got to go back. This is not going to work. Anyway, to make a long story short, and it's a humorous tale, this continues to happen, right? To the point where now we have been left for 5 prayers a day.